Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back to the news at 10. Let's take a look at some of the pictures that you sent into our Eyewitness reports. Eyewitness platform. Let's begin with this one. It's the picture from Shagamu in Ogun State showing a group of youths working together to fix the GRA road. Our Eyewitness reporter, while commending them for deciding to fix some of the problems in their community, urges the government to pay more attention to our roads. Our next picture is from Numan in Gujire town in Adamawa State. We see another sort of community service going on here. Residents in the area are engaged in rescue operations after an accident which happened during heavy downpour. Our Eyewitness reporter says kind gestures like these should be emulated. This next image is from Cross River State. We see an overturned heavy-duty truck, in fact 2 trucks, due to accidents on the Calabar-Itu road. Eyewitness reporter says this road is accident-prone. He wants the federal government to look into it. Niger State is where our last picture comes from. We see one of an eroded road. A reporter says the road, which is in Starlight Village, Madala, Suleja local government area, is gradually being washed away by continuous rainfall this season. He is appealing with the local and state governments to do something quickly to save the road.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
To other news now, the People's Democratic Party may be taking some of the most difficult turn in history of its leadership. Despite the series of court cases and the controversies, some members of the party are looking forward to the National Convention, where it is expected that a brand new leadership will emerge. Several candidates are eyeing the seat of the national chairman of the party, which has been zoned to the south.
The leadership of the People's Democratic Party is perhaps experiencing its most devastating crisis in history. It's a season of different factions, court cases and uncertainty. The Makarfi leadership plans to hold a national convention to constitute a brand new national leadership for the party. The chairmanship of the party has since been zoned to the south. 2 major candidates so far have shown interest publicly to throw their hat in the ring. First is the chairman of Dark Communications, High Chief Raymond Dakasi. He calls at the secretariat of the PDP in Lagos and is cheerfully received as he's introduced here to the Lagos delegates. And when he stands up to speak, the message of unity is his focus.
Have we decided that we shall be united? Yes. Is there anybody here who has any doubt that the PDP in Lagos State must be one united whole? Have built institutions from zero. I can rebuild and rebrand the PDP for you.
But he is not unaware that it may be up against another major force who has a strong base in Lagos.
The leader of the party in Lagos State, Chief Bode George, is my big brother.
Days later, the same secretariat is agog. Another candidate is received. It's Chief Bode George, and he will be declaring his intention to run. Some party chieftains speak about his candidature.
Has any of them got his qualifications? Yes. None of them have his qualification. He is a bridge builder.
Don't write off the PDP. The PDP, by the grace of Almighty God, is a party that is coming back to power.
Chief Bode George, experience and requisite skills for the office are his major advantage.
I know the tradition, the culture, the guiding ethos, and the normative patterns that our leaders have built and nurtured for so many years. If elected, I am willing and ready to work with everyone, regardless of personal differences, to mend broken places.
The candidates are up and about the country canvassing for votes from delegates. August 17th this year is a decision day, and who becomes the chairman will be left for the delegates to decide. Seun Okinbale reporting for Channels Television News.
Let's bring in Emana Wamawe now for business news.
You first. First Bank.
Hello and welcome to Business News. The federal government is in talks with the African Development Bank for a $1 billion loan to enable it fund the 2016 budget. According to the AfDB, the facility request, which is being processed, is now close to the negotiation stage, a procedure that precedes the board's approval. Nigeria's 2016 budget performance is put at 35%, reflecting low turnover in revenue. And Nigeria saw slight improvement in its July Purchasing Managers Index from 50.2 in June to 51.0, according to FBN Quest. The modest upticks in the headline reading suggest that manufacturing may have climbed onto a plateau. The report says 68% of manufacturers saw no difference in output, while 52% maintained the previous levels in delivery times. The Central Bank of Nigeria's manufacturing data released on Monday was, however, at variance with that of the independent investment and securities firm FBN Quest. The regulator reports its Purchasing Managers Index for July at a marginal rise to 44.1 against 41.9 reading in June. And the total turnover value of Nigerian government treasury bills and bonds traded on the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange on Monday stood at 140.4 billion naira in 550 transactions. Investors traded 12.7 billion naira worth of FGN bonds in 44 deals, while 127.7 billion naira of treasury bills were exchanged in 506 transactions. On Monday, the central bank sold a total of 171.34 billion naira worth of 2 new dated bills, with effective yields of 22.53% and 19.81% apiece. At the interbank FX market, the local unit finished higher at 316.37 on the US dollar, gaining 479 kobo, according to a report issued by Vativa Capital Management. And Nigeria's interbank FX market is set for stability and more liquidity in the second half of 2016 as the new flexible foreign exchange market introduced last June takes further shape. This was the optimistic view of Ms. Tumi Sekoni, the Vice President and Head of Marketing, Business Development at FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange. Ms. Tumi was speaking early on Monday on our business show.
The futures markets, the FX market just opened up. Futures market, the futures products has just started. This is still the beginning, early stages. What we expect and what we've also found from feedback and what we've been hearing from the market is activity in that market beginning to improve. You know, we're expecting to have more inflows into the market. We're expecting people to participate more in the market, and we're expecting to see rates stabilize over time. And apart from that, even what the CBN is doing with regards to even helping that, reforming the FX market and, moving flows to the BDC market, what we'll find, what we would expect to see is rates being more stabilized in that market, the demand pressure being eased, supply into that market, supply also coming even into the spot FX markets.
But with all the stability expected in the FX market, it was yet another bearish start for the local equities market this month as investors get set to take position ahead of more half-year corporate earnings numbers this week. Well, let's join BC Adebayo for today's trading figures.
Hello there. Welcome to the Stock Markets Reports. The Nigerian equities market began the week and the month of August on a negative note as the all-share index declined by over 0.5% to end Monday's session at 27,843. Market capitalization was also lower at 9.56 trillion naira. Total volume came in at 331.69 million shares, worth 4.75 billion naira and exchanged in over 4,000 deals. Market breadth was negative as 15 stocks appreciated while 28 declined. Energy trader Owando and Transcorp led Monday's losers with over 9% each. Total, Flour Mills of Nigeria and Dangote Flour were the top gainers for this session. UBA topped the volume chart, pulling 101.36 million shares. And that ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Many thanks, Bissy. Well, let's flip over to the global markets where equities closed mixed on the first day of August. Amid falling oil prices, bank stress test in Europe, and while investors digest latest economic data in other regions. Well, these are some of the figures for the day. And that's Business News Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Imana Amawe. It's back to Amarachi.
You first. First Bank.
A group of concerned indigents of Ishekiri ethnic extraction in Warri Federal Constituency has raised objections over what it perceives as marginalization of the area by the leadership of the All Progressives Congress and Delta State in the nomination of Ajugbe Ajinekewe as a member of the board of Niger Delta Development Commission. Member of all the Progressives Congress, Warri Caucus, Robinson Ariel, made this position known during a press briefing in Warri Delta State, where the leader debunked the allegations of marginalization.
Leaders of the All Progressives Congress, APC, from Warri South, North and Southwest areas of Delta State make up this assembly. The group is dissatisfied with some of the recent nominations for appointments from Delta State to fill the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Spokesperson for this group, Robinson Ariel, says the choice of candidates depicts marginalization of the Shekiris by the party's leadership in the state.
The submission of the name and nomination of Engineer Ajogbe Ajinekewe in complete disregard for the relevant laws and age-long established practices.
He said replacing Anishekiri's son, Tuoyo Mashile, whose tenure on the NDDC board was truncated with one of a different ethnic group, is not in line with the NDDC Act.
Where a vacancy occurs in the membership of the board, it shall be filled by the appointment of a successor to hold office for the remainder of the term of office of his predecessor. So, however, that the successor shall represent the same interest, I repeat, the same interest for emphasis sake.
President of the Ishekiri National Youth Council, Esima J. Awani, insists it is equitable to do a like-for-like replacement, and that's the only way justice would be served.
What I'm saying to President Muhammadu Buhari now is to make sure that justice is served. We want equity and fair play. We want an Ishekiri man to replace an Ishekiri man that did only 2 terms in the NDDC board. I am not saying we are not targeting to a particular individual, but we want an Ishekiri man. It's just fair for us to have an Ishekiri man to replace the Ishekiri man that just did 2 years.
The APC leadership, in reaction to the allegations, refutes the claims. Olorugun Tega Omero says the NDDC Act does not recognize ethnicity, adding that none of the persons removed from the board of the NDDC is being retained by any of the member states. The group, however, maintains its position, confirming that a petition has been sent to the Senate to stop the confirmation of Ajugbe Ajinekewe as a member of the board of Niger Delta Development Commission.
Sharing news for the Nigerian tourism industry as the United Nations World Tourism Organization has rolled out a number of measures as part of efforts to boost the sector in the country. The steps include technical assistance, capacity building, and the revision of the country's tourism master plan, as well as organization of international conferences in Nigeria and certification of tourism courses. The UN agency announced the measures at the end of a two-day meeting between the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, and the Global Tourism Agency in Madrid, Spain. As part of the measures to attract global attention to tourism in the country, the minister who led the country's delegation to the meeting made known Nigeria's desire to host the 60th meeting of the Global Agencies Commission for Africa in 2018. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of 21 chief executives of parastatals and agencies under the Federal Ministry of Education. In a statement signed by the Deputy Director in charge of press at the Ministry of Education, Mr. Bem Gong, the President appointed Professor Abubakar Rashid as the new Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission. Dr. Hamid Boboi is the new Executive Secretary of the Universal Basic Education Board. Dr. Abdullahi Bafa is the Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Tax Fund, and Professor Ishak Oloyede is the new Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board. Their appointments take immediate effect. Next on the news at 10, Rafael Nadal's chances of representing Spain at the tennis event of Olympics remains in doubt as his fitness concerns linger. We'll have more in sports news. Please stay with us.